What's up, y'all? Hey, you guys. We're going to come in here. We're going to get caught up on Married to Medicine, okay? We got 3 episodes to get through, and I am on a time crunch because I have a doctor's appointment at 3:40. It's a virtual one, so I have about an hour. Now, Quake, you said, are y'all working today? I have an hour left. It's the end of the quarter for us, so we had an early dismissal. Where I work, when at the end of every quarter we have an early dismissal. It's supposed to be for teachers to work on their grades, but baby, my grades are done. Grades are done and submitted. My grades were done yesterday. I just needed to tighten up a few, odds and ends in case kids was, you know. So anyway, so I'm off. And when I made this doctor's appointment, I think I didn't realize it was an early dismissal. So I made the virtual appointment at a time that I would be off work if it were a regular work day. So that's why I originally scheduled this live for 3, but moved it. So anyway, we're going to get it in. We're going to get it out. Okay. We got 3 episodes to catch up on. Now, contrary to popular belief, I do love Married to Medicine. I just got behind on it. So let's start 3 episodes ago, child. It is before the Med Gala. The ladies are headed down to Heavenly's house for her lake house for a celebration for her son who's going away to medical school. Now, this is the lake house that Heavenly originally said she was buying to make as a investment property for her. But she did say on her live that her son actually lives in this house. This was his house before he left to go away to medical school because he's going to Meharry. So he's not living in Georgia right now. But either way, let me say something. I will never is a strong word. I don't like to use the word never. But I don't think that I would find myself hating on people who have acquired a certain level of wealth doing things for their children, because if they're doing it in the right way. And some might say, well, who am I to judge what the right way is? I'm just telling you what my opinion is. So what I mean by in the right way is he's in medical school, right? He works with her. I do believe that he has his real estate license, and he was actually working in real estate when he bought that house. So he actually made money off of that house because I don't know this to be a fact, but because I know what I think I know about Dr. Heavenly, he probably made money off of this house, right? But neither here nor there. I mean, just like Dr. Heavenly started a beauty supply store for her daughter. And when it wasn't working out and when it was becoming too much, she closed the damn store. Now, do I think she made a profit while the store was open? She probably did. But I also think, I think a lot of times people don't understand with entrepreneurship. You ask any entrepreneur, they fail more than they've succeeded, right? You open up a business, it doesn't work out, you close the business. But neither here nor there. It's a really nice house, except for that walk down to the lake. I would never be on that lake. Did you see all them steps? Did y'all see all them steps to walk down to the lake? It would just be a nice view. But neither here nor there. Everybody was invited except for Contessa and Sweet Tea. I'm not mad at Dr. Heavenly for not inviting them people into their home. Let me tell you something. I get reality shows and I understand group scenes and how, we have to do group scenes and stuff like that. I get it. And I respect that because that's what these reality shows are built on. But I also understand not inviting that into your home. I understand leaving it outside. I understand going to a restaurant or going to an event or venue. I 100% understand saying, yeah, I'm not inviting those people into my home. I'm not doing it. Who was it? Remember when Giselle made them people sit outside in her parking lot? She wouldn't let them in her house. Yeah, I ain't mad at you, Giselle. I mean, who was it? It was somebody else that said they wouldn't invite that person into their home. Who was it? It was another reality show. Y'all help me out. It was another reality show. It was a recent one. So it must have been Potomac or New Jersey or something that said, I'll film with them, but they can't come into my home. I don't remember who it was now, but it must be, like I said, it has to be a recent one that I reviewed recently. So maybe it wasn't Beverly Hills because it wasn't that recent. Neither here nor there. I get that concept. So I understand Dr. Heavenly inviting everybody except for Sweet Tea and Contessa. This is after the trip. Her and Contessa damn near came to blows. No, you can't come in my house. Now, Quab or her man. I thought that was really nice that Quab or her man. So he's downstairs downstairs and the ladies are upstairs. The men are downstairs and the ladies are upstairs, and the men are downstairs trying to give him the lay of the land. Like, look, avoid this landmine, jump over this puddle, trying to get him the lay of the land. Now, upstairs, the ladies are talking, and the conversation flips to the Med Gala, and we find out that basically, now let me say this. Y'all, because we got 3 episodes to get through, I can't play the game with y'all, okay? We're going to have to just talk like we know that some of this stuff is production, okay? We're going to have to just do it. We can't play the game. We can't. We got to. Hey, what's up, Catherine? You know what? Maybe it was Karen. Maybe it was Karen. Karen was like, she's not inviting these people in her house. It might have been Karen Majani. It may have been. So we got to just jump through some of this stuff like we know it's production. So Toya says she feels like that Heavenly owes Contessa an apology. She felt like Heavenly was wrong. I already said what I got to say about all of that as far as that's concerned. Moving right along. So we get into this Med Gala situation. Now, what it looks like is that Jackie has been complaining to Dr. Heavenly about Phaedra. So Dr. Heavenly did what Dr. Heavenly does, which is, Jackie told me you're not pulling your weight. Jackie told me you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So she made me the co-chair, okay? And as the co-chair, I'm going to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, in the real world, I can absolutely see Jackie doing this in reality, because everybody has that Dr. Heavenly friend. In some cases, I'm the Dr. Heavenly friend. In some of my other friend groups, other people are the Dr. Heavenly friend. And that means that you're the person that gonna say what needs to be said, right? We're gonna go ahead and cut through the bull, and we're gonna say what needs to be said. So Dr. Heavenly says this to Phaedra. Phaedra gets in her feelings, and Phaedra was like, listen, I ain't about to sit here and explain myself to bitches like you. So of course, everybody was like, what's that supposed to mean? What are bitches like us? Who are they? Who are them? What are you talking about? So, excuse me. I'm sure Phaedra felt some kind of way that these people were questioning her and what she could and could not do. So here's the reality of the situation, y'all. Phaedra wrote a check that her behind couldn't cash, literally. She said we was going to raise $100,000. Now, according to Dr. Heavenly and Jackie, they was cool. I think they had set a goal of $20,000, and they were like, we thought after expenses, $20,000 was reasonable. It was only our second year. We still trying to get, the lay of the land and everything. And so they felt like that was a reasonable thing to talk about, right? So, oh, that's the wrong one. She was the one that said, I can do that, $100,000. I could do it in my sleep. Now, Jackie, you knew you were in trouble. You knew you were in trouble when that lady said that she had 70-something unanswered messages from you. That's how you knew that she was not taking this seriously, okay? That's when you knew, all right? But neither here nor there. That was what it was. Then they went down and they congratulated the son and moving right along. Quad said she did. Yeah, we're going to get there, STK. STK, we got 3 episodes to get through. We got 3. When I say a check that her behind can't cash, I didn't mean literally she couldn't cash the check. I mean literally she couldn't raise the $100,000. Let me be clear. You're right. Because there's been a lot of layers to this. I mean, because she was like, I can do $100,000 in my sleep, right? I can do $100,000. I think that's what I mean by a check her behind can't cash. Girl, you didn't raise $100,000. Now, maybe you called people and people didn't call you back. Maybe people made promises that they didn't keep, but it don't change. You did not raise $100,000. Now, did you write a check and did the check clear? Absolutely. But what Dr. Heavenly was saying was the check wasn't good that day. They had to wait a month. According to Quad and Dr. Heavenly, the Met Gala was June, early June. You told them people not to cash that check till July the 8th. Now, let's be clear. If I'm being honest, if I had to come up with $30,000, you're going to have to wait about a month too. Now, I ain't saying I can't come up with it. I mean, I might have to do a whole lot of moving and shaking, but you're going to have to wait about a month because I'm damn sure going to have to tap into some resources. Okay? Moving right along. So I ain't even judging it because, listen, the fact that she had $30,000 that she could get to, I ain't mad at her. But I'm saying she was the one that opened up her mouth and was like, $100,000 ain't no thing. You know what I'm saying? Moving right along. So then we see Quad talking to Sweet Tea about it. She complaining because, she felt some kind of way. She felt a little ambush, which, again, I can understand her feeling like that because, Jackie, if you had a problem, Jackie, you should have called her. Now, do I think it was production? Do I think it was legitimate? I don't know. Was production hyping this up to create a moment, or was Dr. Jackie really feeling some kind of way? Just don't know. Just don't know. Then we get to the Med Gala. We get to the decorations and all that, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Great. Now, I will say this. I did not see Phaedra Parks at the walkthrough. We only saw Dr. Jackie and Heavenly. We didn't see Phaedra at the walkthrough. We didn't see Phaedra boots on the ground, going through the venue, checking the flowers. And again, everything ain't everybody's responsibility. People be on different committees. People have different responsibilities. But what it sounds like is that Phaedra did not pull her weight. That is what it sounds like. Now, that doesn't mean that she didn't pull her weight, y'all. That is what I'm saying I walked away from, is that the ladies were very unhappy with Phaedra's contribution to this situation. Now, hey, everybody coming in. Hey. Wait, at the time that Heavenly said something, they had the money. So what was the point? Well, the point is, one, Dr. Heavenly is messy. And number two, she was reviewing the episode. So what she was saying, first of all, right now, Phaedra is beefing with the Married to Medicine ladies. So they ain't going to have nothing nice to say about her. I mean, that's just what it is. So that's what it is. But Dr. Heavenly was trying to make it out like nothing had been done. And I do not think that was fair to Phaedra, because did Phaedra raise $100,000? No. The question is, how much effort did she put into it, and did it just fall short? Because let's call a thing a thing. If anybody here has ever been on any sort of charity, any sort of fundraiser situation, I don't care if you're selling candy bars or you selling, cars. You always, well, not always. It is reasonable that you will fall short. You know what I'm saying? It is reasonable. I have been on many a committee where we make our goal. I have been on committees where we fall short. So to say we're going to set a goal for $100,000, the problem was they promised that man $100,000, and they probably should not have done that. What they probably should have done was promised him $50,000. And if they gave him more, guess what? Ain't nobody going to be mad at more. But if you promised him $100,000 and you wrote him a check for $100,000 and you had a photo op with a check that said $100,000, well, now you've locked yourself into $100,000. And remember, when they were backstage writing the check, they said that. When they was counting the money and they was doing all of the, we got this, we got this, we got that, we don't have this, we don't have that, they shouldn't have written that check for $100,000. And that's on all of them. Even though Phaedra physically wrote the check, they should have told her, no, Phaedra, we know we've already collected $40,000. We can make the check for $60,000 because we can come up with 20 if we need to eat $20,000, right? But to say, well, we've only collected $30-something thousand, but we promised this man 100. That's what they, in my opinion, that's what they should have done. They should have never written that check, because now you've locked yourself into that. You see what I'm saying? Now you've locked yourself into that. But neither here nor there. The Met Gala, remember, we got to get through 3 episodes, child, so I can't get to every nook and cranny. But if it's something you want me to talk about, put it in the chat. If it's something you want me to address, put it in the chat. So we get to the Met Gala. First of all, y'all, can I tell y'all something? Ravine, I know you've done many fundraisers in your capacity with your sorority. I know you have. So you know what it is. Y'all, one day when I'm financially, for lack of a better word, rich, and I speak that into existence. For me, rich is I don't have to check my bank account before I want to do something within reason. I don't mean I want to go out and buy a Bentley. I mean, if I decide to buy a new car, I ain't got to check my bank account. I don't have to check my credit. I know I can walk into a dealership and reasonably get a car that I want Again, within reason, without having to move nothing, change nothing, wait for nothing. In my mind, that's rich for me. Am I ever going to be multi-billionaire status where I can get on a private jet at any time? Don't know. But for me, rich is I can live the way I want to live and I don't have to check no bank account. The money just gets deposited and it's there. Okay. Without me having to work too hard. Okay. Let me add that caveat. Okay. Okay. So when I say one day when I get rich, that's what I mean when I say that. So for future reference, that's what I mean. One of the things that I plan to have on call. Now, that don't mean I'm going to use it every single time that I got to do something. But one of the things I plan to have on call is the number of a really, really, really good stylist. One, because I am no fashionista. Y'all know I'm not. Y'all know I'm no fashionista, okay? It's just not my forte. I can look at something and say, yes, I think that's cute. I can look at something and say, nope, that's hideous. But for me and my body type, aka fat girl, I am not a fashionista. I'm just not, right? Y'all know I love my t-shirt, my jeans, my shorts. I will put on a cute little outfit when the time comes. I say all that to say this. These ladies have too much money to be looking the way they look sometimes. The sad thing is, one of my favorite outfits at the Med Gala was Dr. Heavenly's. I didn't like Toya's outfit. She looked like she had escaped from a convent. Okay. Toya looked like she was on her way to La Cage aux Fleurs, to a brothel. Okay. She looked like she was on her way with that hat to be an extra in the Beyonce video. You know, I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this with that hat. Okay. Sweet Tea looked like she was on her way to a cotillion. I don't know what that dress was giving. Okay. Quad looked good, but baby, Quad very rarely gets it wrong for me. I love Quad. Okay. Quad very rarely gets it wrong. I love Dr. Heavenly, and I wasn't crazy about Dr. Jackie. I was not crazy about Dr. Jackie's dress. Now, can I tell it was expensive? Yes. Dr. Contessa, I don't know what the hell you be doing. You too cute and you got too much money. These women just had too much money. Phaedra looked okay, but she was I ain't gonna say she was overdressed. Phaedra looked all right. Phaedra looked cute. Phaedra did look cute. You know, but I was not impressed with the majority of these outfits, and I just don't understand. She did look like she was on her way to a Madea movie, a funeral scene. She was on her way to Medea's funeral. Now, I think that Dr. Heavenly has invested in a very good stylist, somebody that knows how to dress her body, right? And that is what I would invest in. I would invest in a stylist that could dress plus size women in what I would feel comfortable wearing. Because what I've also learned in the past, when I've let other people talk me into stuff that I'm not comfortable in, then I don't wear it. I just got it on. You see what I'm saying? If you walk around feeling confident in what you have on, you walk with a certain pep in your step, right? It was a garden theme. I know what the theme was. That don't make none of that shit pretty. I'm sorry. I get it. It was a garden theme. It still was ugly to be. Sorry. That's just my opinion, SCK. That's my opinion, boo. Right. That's why I think Dr. Heavenly has invested in a stylist, because I don't think she really cares that much. All right, y'all, I got to speed this up, child. I got 40 minutes left. Okay. So the event happened. They auctioned off some stuff. Yada, yada, yada. We know what happened with the check. Now, there was a conversation between Damon and Dr. G. I'm glad they had the conversation. I'm glad they were able to say what needed to be said. I still feel like it's an uneasy truce there, but it's better than there being them smashing heads, right? So I feel like that was a needed conversation, and I'm glad that the men were able to say what the men needed to say. And then, like I said, they presented the check. Again, if I'm missing something, put it in the chat and I'll address it. If y'all, because again, it was 2 episodes ago, so y'all probably don't remember either, chat. But if y'all can think of something that I missed, go and put it in the chat. I think I done covered pretty much that episode. Now, they did have this whole situation with Phaedra and the guy that was supposedly bidding on a date with her. Y'all, first of all, I didn't need them to tell me in the next episode that it was fake for me to see that it was fake. Child, that thing looked fake. That man looked like he ain't a bit more care about going on no date with Phaedra than the man in the moon. And the fact that allegedly the man called the next day and wanted his money back, I'm not surprised. I think it's tacky as hell, but I'm not surprised. So let's get to, now we're moving into episode 2. I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping up that episode. We're moving into the next episode. Toya says that she wants to have, now let me tell y'all, this episode ain't gonna take me long, because let me tell you something. I think in the history of probably Married to Medicine and Housewives, now y'all can put it in the chat if y'all can give me other examples. I think this is probably the most idiotic party that I have ever seen. All I could think while I was watching Toya talking about she want to have a birthday party for, a baby shower for her Birkin bag. I just remember, all I could think of was new money like a motherfucker. Tacky. Tacky is the word. Thank you, Candy Loves TV. Tacky is absolutely the word. Let me tell you something. I'm one of those people, and I think sometimes I'm a little over the top with what I do, because I'm one of those people. I don't ever want people to think I ain't never been somewhere before. Like, I never want to walk into an expensive restaurant and act like I ain't never been there before. I don't ever want to walk into the first class lounge and act like I've never been there before. I don't ever want to move to sit in the first class part of the train and act like I ain't never been nowhere before. I don't ever want to stay at a 5-star a 5-star hotel and act like I never been there before, even if it's my first time. Even if it's my first time, baby. The first time I went into the first class lounge down at the airport, baby, you wouldn't know I'd never been there before. Now, in my mind, I was like, oh my God, like I could get free wine. What? Oh, it's a whole buffet over here. Oh my goodness. You mean they got these chairs here that recline? What? The bathrooms are clean as fuck. Like, in my mind, I was doing all of that. Okay. When I was walked to my seat in business class, I got in that little pod and I act like this. I fly business class every day, even though it was my first time in business class. Okay. The first time I flew first class, and that lady came up to me and asked me if I wanted a drink. In my mind, I was thinking, do I have to? I ain't ask her, but in my mind, I was like, I gotta pay for this. But baby, I went on to order me that Jack and Coke, and she bought me a second one before I finished the first one. She said, what you doing? Why? Because I ain't got to pay for it. And she must have seen it in my face that I wasn't sure if I had to pay for it or not. She must have seen it in my eyes, and she was letting me know, sister, because she was black like that. She was letting me know, sister girl, you good? You got to drink these Jack Daniels down on this flight, and you're going to be good to go, right? I have done, the first time I went to a restaurant where, you know, the appetizers started at $30. Baby, I ain't act like I've never been there before. You know, in my mind, I was making sure that, am I good to go? But I wasn't going to ask nobody nothing. You see what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. The fact that you bought a Birkin bag and you felt the need to have a whole party for it, with a glass case. And here's what I love. I love the fact that when they finally got there and realized that it was a party for the Birkin bag, baby, why all of them started talking about all the Birkins they got? Contessa was like, yeah, I've got 3. Somebody else was like, yeah, I got 1. I think Quad was like, yeah, I got 1. Like, everybody in the room, for the exception of Dr. Heavenly, and only because she don't want one. Please understand, if Dr. Heavenly wanted a Birkin, she could have a Birkin. Because Dr. Heavenly drives a motherfucking Maybach. If she wanted a Birkin, she could have a Birkin. She just don't want one. Baby, when all of them when the whole room was like, I mean, except for Sweet Tea, child. We know Sweet Tea ain't got no Birkin either. But when all of the ladies, I'm going to say the ladies, child, even Dr. Simone said she got a Birkin. Matter of fact, I think Dr. Simone got more than one. And we know that Dr. Simone got, baby, Toya. Heavenly said, Daddy bought her one. I believe it. Oh, Damon gifted her one, but she don't care about it. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Because remember, she gave back her Maybach like 2 years ago, and he bought her a new one for Christmas. Hold on, I want to read what Foot said about Switzerland. Hold on. I walked a red carpet for my first class train ride in Switzerland and acted like it was nothing. That's what I'm saying, baby. When I took a train from London to Paris a few years ago, and we did the first class ticket, baby. You couldn't, and it was that was such a beautiful train ride. And we sat in first class, and we act like it wasn't nothing. Because first of all, the first class tickets over there are not as expensive as over here. Go figure. But it's just like, and don't get me wrong, me personally, I don't know, even if I had that kind of money, if a Birkin is something that would be on my list of, must-haves. However, if I ever did get one, I'm going to act like I've been there before. I mean, that was just like the first time I walked into a luxury designer bag store. The first time, thank you, Catherine. We're in mourning, but we good. The first time I walked into the Gucci store, the Louis Vuitton store, the Chanel store, and they offered me champagne, I took it. I said, they don't be offering me champagne down to the Macy's when I go in the Macy's to get me a new bag, but I'm going to take this champagne here. Right, and it was ugly and small. Right, yeah. So that was most of this episode, and I just refuse to put too much energy into Toya and this tacky shit. Even like you said, like y'all keep saying in the chat, even her son knew it was stupid, and so did Eugene. And again, it would even be different if you were the only person in your friend group that had one. But the way them ladies went around that room and was like, "Oh yeah, I've got 3. Oh yeah, I've got 2. Oh yeah, I've got." Baby, the way them ladies went around that room, you should have been embarrassed at that point. Because I really think that you thought you was stunting on them. And Toya, come here. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here, girl. For the exception of Sweet Tea, because she don't count for a lot of reasons. Okay? Sweet Tea don't count in this conversation for a lot of reasons. For the exception of Sweet Tea, do you realize that all the women are doctors and have their own practices? They're not just doctors. They got their own practices, successful practices. I'm sure that if they wanted to fly over to London and go to the flagship Hermes store, which you need an appointment to get in, by the way, okay? You can't just walk up to Hermes and go in the door like you walk into the Macy's, okay? You need an appointment. You got to get a card, and you need an appointment to get into the Hermes store, okay? And they only take a certain number of appointments per day. Let's call a thing, Toya. If you really want to act like you're impressing somebody, let's call a thing, Toya. Okay? Moving right along. They just closed on their new house, child. You think she was doing it to be lighthearted? I don't. Not because it's Toya. Toya always does that. Toya, because it's Toya, I don't. But anyway, either way, to me, it was tacky. So then we also see, this is where the tide starts turning on the relationship with Phaedra and the ladies. They had a whole meeting to go over the finances and who owed what and what owed what and all of that. We've already talked about that. And we've already talked about the check and the man. We ain't got to go through all of that. Then we're introduced to the new doctors. We have Dr. Mimi and her husband. Her husband is a former NFL player. Dr. Mimi is a psychiatrist, and she's a new addition to the show. I don't know why we had to wait until episode 6 for her to come on, but okay. Right, at that point, she didn't own a home, but she had a $32,000 bag. Exactly. So Contessa, her husband, Mimi, her husband, and Sweet Tea and her husband, they all go out for, you know, a date. And that's just her way to introduce them to the group, child. That's, and Cecil and Simone were there. And that was their way of introducing them to the group. They're going to go on a couples trip. This will let you know that the season damn near over because we get ready to go on a couples trip. And the couples trip is always at the end of the season. So I don't even know, like maybe she couldn't film before now. I don't know, but it's interesting. And they basically just introducing her to the group, talking about the different people, the different personalities, who they think she can't get along with, won't get along with. We find out Sweet Tea is having what she call it, y'all? I wrote it in my notes, but I don't have my notes in front of me. Basically, it's her sugar daddy dating event where she's it's a speed dating event for women who want to date old men. Listen, age gap speed date. Thank you, Feisty. Thank you, too, Feisty. It is the age gap speed dating event. Let me say this. There is somebody for everybody in this world. And just like there are some people that are attracted to fat people, and there's some people that are attracted to big butts, and there's some people that are attracted to long hair. There are some people that are attracted to old men. Now, why they attracted to old men? Not my business. Phaedra got a fake date. I think, you know, when it comes to Phaedra and these men, I just can't believe nothing. So allegedly, Phaedra met a man down to the speed dating child. Okay, Phaedra. Dr. Heavily shows up. Now, according to Dr. Heavily, production told her to show up because obviously she wasn't invited because Sweet Tea wasn't going to invite her. But according to her, production told her to show up. You know, they wanted her there. And at that time, we see Dr. Heavily sit down and have a conversation with Dr. G, where she did apologize on camera in a sincere way. And what I mean by in a sincere way, that doesn't mean that I'm saying she was sincere. I'm saying that she apologized in a sincere way. She wasn't hollering. She wasn't laughing. She very much said, I went too far. You went too far. We were going back and forth on social media and I was wrong. I went too far and I was wrong. So at this point, y'all, I'm done with it. I cannot. Here's the thing. You can't make somebody forgive you and move on. All you can do is apologize and keep it going. That's it. Did you catch that her speed dating event was called Sweet and Savory? That's the name of. Yeah, I did catch that. That's the name of Quiet Spices. Yeah, I did catch that. Child. So with that being said, I'm glad that everybody seemed to be on a good page now. Sweet Tea still want more from Heavenly, and I don't know what else you want from Heavenly. You're not getting anything. Listen. You lucky you got what you got from Heavenly. You're not getting anything more. She has apologized to you. She has apologized to Greg. You can't make her mean it. You can't make her say it the way you want her to say it, child. She didn't apologize. She didn't apologize. Now, you can't make her apologize the way you want her to apologize about the damn apology. Now, that was pretty much that episode. The rest of the episode was this damn Birkin party, and I feel like I done already talked about that. Well, let's call a thing a thing. Sweet Tea's, can I tell you, y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. Y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to say because y'all know I love me some Dr. Heavenly. Even when she wrong, I tell her when I think she wrong. But baby, if it wasn't, Sweet Tea really should be thanking Dr. Heavenly because if it weren't for Dr. Heavenly, she would not have a storyline. Because let's be clear, Quad is not giving her that kind of energy. Like, we know why she was brought on the show. We know what the whole point of her being on the show was. But maybe Quad is just not giving her that sort of energy. I mean, Quad just ain't doing it, right? Quad is not giving her that energy. If it were not for Dr. Heavenly, Sweet Tea would not have a storyline. Now, y'all ain't got to like Dr. Heavenly. Y'all might think she's doing too much, and that's fine. That's fine. But, baby, if it wasn't for Dr. Heavenly, Sweet Tea wouldn't have no storyline. That's why she can't let this go, because she ain't got nothing else to talk about. That's it. That's all. All right, now we in the last episode. I got 20 minutes. Let's do it. Y'all need to find out where Dr. Eugene went to high school. I think I know where he went to high school because he's from this area. He's from my area. And when she said that he only had 27 kids in his high school, I wonder if he went to high school a friend of mine went to. It was a small school, and they had a small classes like that. I gotta find out where he went to high school. Just being out of nosiness. So this first scene, can I tell y'all? Let me say this, and I know this is going to sound like I'm being contradictory. I love on reality shows, we see regular scenes with families doing what families do. I love seeing Toya and Eugene really interact with their kids and have real conversations with their kids. But can I tell you that I am sick of Toya? I feel like Toya tries to say the most outrageous thing out of her mouth because she ain't got nothing else to talk about. So I feel like she takes pleasure in embarrassing her husband and embarrassing her boys. And I'm wondering if this is really truly how Toya just bursts out all the time, or if she puts it on extra for the show. Because honestly, y'all, I'm really sick of her embarrassing these men. Between Eugene and the boys, she embarrasses the boys as much as she embarrassed Eugene. It's like she just don't know what to say out her damn mouth. Anyway, they sat down to have a talk about boys and smelling and being popular because the son don't want to go. The young son don't want to go on to the dance because he didn't want to ask nobody out. He just was cool with being at home. Y'all, the older I get, the more I feel like we need to let kids be kids and develop the way we want them to. The way they are developing. We can keep an eye on them to make sure that it's not an extreme behavior. But I think we have to stop putting social norms, forcing these social norms on our kids. And this is coming from somebody that used to do it. As a teacher, we used to do these things. And now I'm finding myself becoming more and more conscious of these things and not putting that pressure on these kids. So if he wasn't comfortable, if he didn't want to ask a girl to the dance, there could be a variety of reasons. One, he may not just want to go. He just may not want to go. Two, maybe he's not comfortable yet approaching a girl, and I don't feel like we should force him to do it. Three, maybe he don't like girls. You know, and I'm not putting nothing on that baby. I'm just saying, if he said he don't want to go to the dance, now keep an eye on it. Make sure that he's not becoming too secluded, right? You don't want him to become too antisocial, but it may just be, look, I don't really feel like going to the damn dance because that ain't my thing. I don't like dancing. You know, I don't want to get dressed up. I don't want to do it. I just rather sit at home and watch some anime. Like, he may not just be at that level. And I think we need to stop. And we've all done it. When I say we, I can't speak for every single person that's watching this video, but I'm saying in general, because we have those social norms on us as well. And so we push them on our kids because that's what we know. And I've done that with my students, and I've had to catch myself before I say certain things like, okay, no, don't put that out there, right? Next, we have Dr. Jackie going to the White House for a thingamabob with Kamala Harris about women, pregnancy, mortality, and all of that. I think it was really nice. I'm not about to sit here and go through, because again, one, we ain't got time. But two, you know, look, I know what Dr. Jackie went through last year. I know the comments that she said and being exposed. But two things can be true at the same time, right? If she's taking that embarrassing moment, that misstep, that whatever she want to call it, and she's using it now to bring awareness, and she's been able to link up with the White House. Listen, I ain't mad about it. I love the fact that she tricked Dr. Heavenly into thinking she wasn't going, because Dr. Heavenly was mad, but she was trying to keep it cool, but she was in her feelings. But it was Dr. Simone, Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Jackie went to the White House. I thought that was a great, great moment. I loved that Dr. Jackie allowed herself to fan out and not pretend like she was too cool. She had it all figured out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that she fanned out about meeting the vice president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? I love that she fanned out, because I would too, right? There's not, y'all know I don't fan out about everybody, but there's some people I'm a fan out about. And certainly meeting the vice president of the United States, who happens to be a Black woman, and in her case, a member of her sorority. Like, you've got listen, you're gonna fan out, right? So that was the majority of this episode. So I loved it for them. We got to see them. They were able to film inside of the White House, which I thought was great. They couldn't film everything, obviously, but they were able to film some of the symposium. They were able to film them meeting Kamala Harris and, different things like that. So I thought that was a great moment for them. I thought that was really, really cool. We see Phaedra go out on a date. We don't care because it's Phaedra and we just don't care. They're getting ready for the couples trip. And again, y'all, what I'm not going to let y'all do is take something that production did and make it a Dr. Heavenly thing. Even though on camera, Dr. Heavenly did it. Even though on camera, Dr. Heavenly did it, we know good and damn well that Dr. Heavenly did not call Apollo and invite him on this couples trip without production telling her to or allowing her to. I do believe that Dr. Heavenly is messy as hell, but I don't think she that damn messy because there was absolutely no reason for Apollo to come on that trip other than for them to be messy because we ain't heard, talked to, seen Apollo other than that one little blurb. And I think the second episode where Toya said she saw Apollo down to the grocery store or at the restaurant or whatever. There was no reason to bring Apollo on this trip. This was totally production, being messy, doing what production does. So I know that Dr. Heavenly gonna get a lot of flack from it, but we are not gonna sit here and pretend like that was Dr. Heavenly's idea. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. Now, an argument can be made. Why do they keep using Dr. Heavenly for stuff like this? Because they know she gonna do it. Because Dr. Heavenly will sell. She will be the messy one because Dr. Heavenly ain't gonna tell you more than what she's telling you as far as her life is concerned. She done already told y'all her family ain't for sale. Her husband ain't for sale. So I'll be the messy one. I'll stir the pot. I'll be that person because what you're not going to do is make me do anything more than I'm already doing or what I'm already giving you as it relates to my family. So Dr. Heavenly is willing to be the messy one and stir the pot. She willingly does it. She willingly does it. Knowing good and damn well that you ain't going to flip it back on her. So, I mean, people can like it, or you can like it or you can love it, but that's the method. In my opinion, that's the method to her madness. Now, I could be wrong. Dr. Heavenly, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, that's the method to her madness, right? So the ladies everybody get down there. Quab or her man. All the other couples are there. The new couple is there. They're all down. Well, they went to Key West, I think. They all went down to Key West. Simone and Cecil are hosting what they always do. They done put the people in the teams. They put the teams together based off of who's not necessarily getting along so they can work on those relationships. I guess. And, the episode ended with everybody all being, kumbaya. But like I know that is not going to last long. They're going to be fighting, cussing, screaming, arguing in 0.35421. They did address Phaedra making her bitches like these comments. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's not that deep. I mean, child, y'all call each other bitches all the time. It ain't that deep. Y'all have just decided that y'all mad at at Phaedra. Y'all not cool with Phaedra. So whatever it is, it's just gonna be expanded. But I don't think it was that deep that she said bitches like y'all. I mean, when she first said it, I was kind of like, ooh. But in the grand scheme of things, child, it ain't that deep. But yeah, that was pretty much it, child. We went through 3 episodes in 45 minutes. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Did I not touch something y'all want me to touch on? Child, I had to get caught up. I was getting further and further behind. Y'all, I love Married to Medicine, so I wasn't trying to get far more behind. The last couple of weeks have just been hectic, y'all. It's just been hectic. You can also see the tension that's brewing between Quad and Greg, which is weird because if they're uncomfortable being around Quad, why rejoin the show? Because he ain't that uncomfortable being around Quad. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all, all of this backfired on production and on Eugene and Sweet Tea. They really thought they was going to come on this show and they was going to make Quad uncomfortable. They was going to make Quad feel some kind of way and they was going to get something out of Quad. That's what they really thought was getting ready to happen. And that ain't how it is. That just ain't how it is, y'all. Quad is not gonna let you see her sweat. She's just not. And I'm not saying I agree with everything Quad says and does, but Quad ain't gonna let you see her sweat. I can't imagine living in a house as big as Jackie's with just two people. Hell, all of them. Look at Heavenly's house is huge, and it's just her and Daddy now. Simone and her theirs is really, really nice, but it's not ridiculous. I feel like, and I feel like the older I get, because like I told y'all before, I do want to buy I have a townhouse. I want to buy a single family. And I wouldn't mind having there's certain things that I want, but at this point, I don't need no estate. You know what I mean? I do not need no estate. Greg is not only still in love with Quad, I think Greg wants to, what's the word I'm looking for? He wants to sort of fix his reputation, because Quad put a lot of stuff out there about him, and I believe, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't believe it, I believe it, but I think he wants to sort of fix that. So that's another reason why I think he wanted to bring Sweet Tea on, so people can see him with a woman again and be like, oh, so Quad, look at him, they're this and they're that, so it must not be what Quad, you know what I'm saying? I think redeem is the word. That's what I'm looking for. I think G was trying to redeem himself. Now, wait a minute. I'm still in my classroom because we got out early today. We had an early dismissal today, Yana. On a regular day, child, on a regular day, I ain't home yet. King is fine. Baby, I can't wait now. I can't wait to see that episode where King and Greg get into it. That child. That's it. SCK wants to fix his reputation. No, I think he still love Quad. I do. Anyway, let me get out of here, y'all. My appointment starts in 5 minutes. I got to go get logged in. But thank y'all so much. We're going to do a tribe meeting after El Teddy because, child, I guess we got some stuff to talk about over on the other channel, child. It's a bunch of YouTube mess going on, okay? It's a bunch of YouTube mess going on. But anyway, with that being said, I'm out. Talk to y'all later.